Hello everybody. Oops. A lot of reverb. Let me see that each week this happens to me. Okay, we put off the reverb. Here we are dry. Welcome to another live stream. It started pretty messy here. I had several ideas and it did not work out. You see, I have a big picture of the keyboard. What I did is placing the ASR-10, which has polyphonic aftertouch, in front of me, because I had this discussion with Hadley about polyphonic aftertouch, and there are not many keyboards which have this feature. And what I have this is one of the own sounds I created many years ago for the ASR-10. And what I did, there's one time I sold this machine to a friend of mine, and now I bought it back again because I missed particular sounds on stage. At that time, I think I sold it because I wanted to dive into the EMU things. And of course, loading samples in this hardware sample with the older SCSI, that's quite of a pain. But now they have SCSI 2 SD. So, and at the back, there is a little card, SCSI card, which has a little SD card. And it's amazing. I mean, it's, you know, the SD cards from your mobile phone, and that's now behind in this machine. And it's, of course, trillion times faster than the original SCSI interface. So I'm placing these presets over, and I thought, okay, let's place it here so we have the polyphonic aftertouch. But it doesn't work. I don't know what is going on. It doesn't work. Maybe something is defect in the machine. That well could be. Or maybe something is going on. I looked at the filters in Cubase. The input filters, they are okay. So that could not be the case. I hope you can see the ASR-10. Let me see. I see the image here of you guys. So maybe it's cool that because there were a few things which I wanted to do. Kafa, who is in the chat room, did send also something about the Core MS-20 sound. We'll do this next week because I could not finish that on time to prepare. And and another thing is that Hadley sent me a sound for Predator 2, a Vangelis type of sound, and that came to the discussion about this polyphonic aftertouch, because the polyphonic aftertouch is not very common. So the ASR-10 should have it. Then there is one of the newer ones is this Hydra Synth. And you have the older Gem S2 or S3, I believe it was. I think also the sequential T8 synthesizer. So, yeah, Daft Punk is Kafa mentioned here. For the next week, we'll do that next week with the Core MS-20 sound. No problem. So, yeah, so let's play a few of my sounds. Give me a second. I need to go down here. So in the description box, I have a link to the ASR-10 page. There you can play the demo songs I created for the ASR-10. The sound sets I made is called ASR-11 AS-12. So AS-11 AS-12. So here they are, you know, in this little booklet. All the CD-ROM, you can find them. So ahead of the show, I was very fast loading them in. Now I placed them on this small new SD card. And let me play you a few sounds, because the polyphonic stuff did not went well. So one of the first sounds, this one is called Alaska. So picture this sounds I created 1992. So that's 29 years ago. Are you serious? Terrible, isn't it? Time flies. So I play this sound, and what is very cool in the ASR-10, you have here next to the Or a little bit above the keyboard, you have two little buttons. And if you click this one, you can start a different layer. And then you got a different sound. So I'm checking the chat room. Guys, can you see the ASR-10 a bit? Yeah, okay, let me know if you can see it. 1982, yes. 1982, time flies. Okay, so let's play this sound which is called Alaska. It's a very nice sound. So you see, when I hit this left button, you get a different patch. So the sound is loaded inside our instrument number track 1. This is the bass sound, but then by using the filters of the ASR-10, and it's a very nice sounding filters. They don't have Q, so resonance, but they have a very nice sound and very good envelope. So I also created this more percussion sound from the same sample. Or this very slow pad. So then we have the next sound is, let's see, I don't know, an instrument. Okay, oh, here you can see it. Guys, can you see it in the image? Let me see, maybe I should make it a little bigger. I always can make it smaller. Let me see. I'm planning to do anyhow a much bigger video about the synthesizers I have in my studio, why I like them. Some of them, of course, I created some presets, so it's not top quality image, but I think you can see it a bit. And you see patch here. Here's the name is patch. So we had this vocal sound. So if I go here on this button, you see that an other layer gets active. Or on this one, layer 4. So essentially you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds below one button. Well, then the next sound I can show you. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, is this better? Good. It's this sound. And now you can hear what it is. If I use the first layer, it's a iron gate opening. And I changed it, so. So this iron gate I transformed into flutes. So again, this is the sample. And the cool thing also about the ASR-10, it has the bidirectional loop. So normally you have a loop that goes this way, but it goes back and forth. So yeah, this one is from Hitchcock, this sound. So if you use the variations, see, oops. Yeah, and what would be cool if you use these sounds together with, for instance, BIT. So I could use BIT and then. Yeah, cool, isn't it? So, yeah, and then you got the second. Okay, let's go back to the ASR-10 only. So here's the ASR-10 only. What you hear is the built-in FX, and very good quality FX on board. So let me see if I go edit effects here. Not sure. It uses the reverb in combination with a chorus. Yeah, nice, isn't it? Yeah, and the other sound, this is one of my favorites. It's called Dream. I don't know what I sampled at that time. It well could be one of my own presets from the microwave. So this one is called Dream. Okay, let's mute the microphone so you don't hear my keyboard clacking. Yeah, that was a wrong note, but you can hear again the if you go to the instrument, this is the first layer. In total, you could use 8 layers, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. That's the first patch. Then you hear 2 and 3 together. And a little pitch glide. And then you have this one. Slow attack. Yeah, it's still very powerful sounds. And what I did, my approach, which I also did later on with the EMU sampler, is that I really used the synthesis power from this machine. So filters, envelopes, and that kind of things. So let's go to another instrument, which is Sam lead, which is to Oberam Sam synthesizer. I think this is a kind of mellow saw wave. I think you recognize this type of sound also with the what I do, for instance, in BIT. So the soft soft lead sound. Yeah, good question. SQ80, that was a bit more synthesizer, the SQ80, but I think the sequencer is very similar to the SQ1 and the SQ80 range. They are a bit earlier. Yeah, it's really very sad that this brand is gone because they had very creative ideas, and sound-wise, it's amazing. It's really an amazing machine, sound-wise. So this is another sound, Scion. What I can recall, what I use with this sample is they have a kind of a looping, and they can have how do you call it again? Wait, 1 second. By the way, this is the manual. And I know this machine at that time inside out. So here's it's from 1982 when I purchased this ASR-10 and created these sound sets. And they call it, let me see if I can pick it up here. Command wave. Yeah, ensemble crossfade, or yeah, very interesting thing. Synthesized loop, that was it. That I used on this waveform. It's very interesting, very yeah. So in total, I made 23 pre-sounds. Let's go to the next one. And that's my Jupiter 8 sampled. And I did not sample a full sound, so a sound which was ready. But what I did is making it more as a waveform, which leads into more sounds. Because you will see if I hit a different patch here. Okay. Oops, excuse me. Some of the volumes are a bit different, so I hope I don't... Where is it now? Oh no, it's... okay, let's load it. So I load it now from the... you see how fast it goes. From the SD chip. I mean, picture, we had a very big hard disk, was about 1,000 guilders at that time. And then you had 350 megabyte. Yeah, and now it's file loaded. Okay. Some Jupiter sound. And now I use this patch button. And you definitely can hear it's the same original sample, but I use the filters from the ASR-10. Kafa said Timbaland used Ensoniq. It's also this rapper, this famous big rapper, which also wanted to be a president. He swears at the ASR-10. Okay, no, I don't get the name. Typically, they because the keyboard player on stage did know me, and they emailed us if we could make a virtual ASR-10 because he was so crazy about the ASR-10 and the workflow of it. But of course, yeah, you always have, we never do that kind of things, reissue something in the hardware as software. So, but it's pity that this machine is gone. Okay, so what we have, this Jupiter sound, then we have another preset, the wave. I think I created this one with the microwave. You see by the patch buttons here, so the left button, it's the same sample but totally different synth setting. This one really reminds me on this Star Trek, very old Star Trek movie with Captain Kirk and Spock. Yeah, it's a bit different live stream because I had a problem getting the polyphonic Aftertouch working on this ASR-10. So I decided, let's play some of these sounds I created for the ASR-10. Already 8 + yeah, 29 years ago. Ridiculous. So here we have the wave state. I think sounds very similar to a wave station, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's load another sound. Pet Dream, not sure what it means, so we're gonna pick it. Okay, see how fast it loads. It's a very nice low end, more synth sound. Universal? No idea. I can recall that one, so for me it's also. Kind of choir sound. Yeah, a bit dirty sound that we had already. GP16, I don't know, I think that was a nice synth sound. Maybe I'm playing a bit too loud now for you guys. So this GP16, that's the preset name, also different. Variation. So if you hear the demo songs which are on the homepage, then I used in the demo song, there maybe 8 sounds were loaded, but by using the patch, I had also the sequence sounds, and then I let go of the patch, and then okay, let's that way mini lead. Yeah, I sampled the Minimo and a mini lead. Let's see how it sounds. Nice plug sound. This will be a nice plug sound. If you put the ARP reverb on it, you get a really nice plug sound, in my opinion. Okay, here I need to put it on. And you see, that's also nice. It has also legato mode. And what you could also do is, yeah, Kanye West was the name of the producer. Kanye West uses a lot of ASR-10, and one of the band members at that time asked us if we could build a virtual ASR-10 because he loved so much that machine. So, good spell. Yeah, also nice synth sound. I can recall this one. It's a bit like a vibraphone, isn't it? Of course, I sampled also for Moog bass, and that one is interesting. I played that one in a okay. Yeah, you also, if you took a different layer, you also could move the start point of the sample. So then you really had a lot of creative stuff available. That one is also very nice. This one. This is a sample of a fellow musician, had at that time the T8, and I sampled a bass from it. And the cool thing is, if I use the patch, so most likely the original sample is like this, and then I use the filter to make this or this. So that's cool about the patch. So if I would have a little groove, let me see if I can have a little groove. Is of course the one we use each week, and it's time to have a new one. But okay, so let's see. Okay, let's make that one out. So what I do while playing is using the patch. And you can record that. So if I were to record that, you would have that also. If it's, let's see if I can play that. Isn't that cool? So the patch selecting things, that's really a very cool feature. Okay, so let's go to the next sound, bass T8. It was called, yeah. Bob lead. It's of course a talking about Bob Moog. So that was a Bob Moog lead. Okay. Hey, oh boy. Guys, I have a preset name called Corona, which means the sun, of course. So I don't hope that they get my YouTube video down because I mentioned Corona. It's more a classic stab sound. So you see, this patch selecting is really so cool. You can't have the wish that these two little buttons were part of every synthesizer, because you can do such a cool thing, because simply cool, isn't it? So yeah, that's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna check the This chat room. Native instrument keyboard can control the Ensoniq too. Sure, it's a MIDI keyboard, so you even can connect another keyboard to the ASR-10. And of course, if you have an ASR-10, you have it also as a rack version. And then, well, yeah, what I think about, you missed on the rack version these patch selecting things. Most likely they do that on front, but it's a very cool thing to have. So then I have a pad piano. I have no clue what it is, but let's play it. Oh, I can recall this one. The Jupiter 8 is below it. Of course. Assembled, we have that one, that we also have. Then there is a soft bell, which is also nice synth sound. Okay. Then I sampled my a bass. This came from my sound bank for the microwave. It's a also nice bass sound. Sounds a bit like a Lately bass, but it's a originally created in the microwave, which I did sample. Okay, Synth, SY Synth, synth sounds, of course. A bit dry, so I would put here a bit reverb on it. Yeah, it's really a kind of stacked sound. Okay, I think I had them all now. Oops. Yeah, I also made the a nice collection of the 808 909 CR-78, which is of course the obvious. So maybe. Yeah, the obvious stuff. So yeah, it's a I think for the synth sounds, still an amazing synth. Some of these sounds, it's really what I use is interpolation, because this sound, for instance, Pet Dream, you might think that this is a multi-layer, but let me tell you, this is just one sample. And if you have a high resolution sample and it uses the interpolation, it gets also very creamy in the lower end. So I need to check edit wave. So this is a loop bidirectional. yeah, left and right used. Yeah, then you have the modulation option. You could modulate the edit layer. So you need to, yeah, it was a lot of features. You see 3 envelopes it had. Has a pitch envelope, filters, 2 filters on board, amplifier where you control things, LFO, and in this wave you could do some modulation as well. And there is the option for the layers. So it's not only a pure sampling machine, but I really treat it as a sampler, as a synthesizer. Okay, I don't know if we had this one, Alaska. Yeah, we had that one in the start. Yeah, guys, and picture this machine is 16-bit. And people say, oh no, you need at least 24-bit. And 24-bit, it really makes sense if you are recording. If you are recording a sound, then do this in 24-bit. Then if it's a sample creation, you simply do normalize it, and then you can make it 16-bit because essentially the dynamic range of 16-bit is 96 dB, which is awful loud. So so you see that even 16-bit can sound wonderful, and it's also all down to the good DA converters, the very good software what they created. Yeah, and it's pity that they are gone. It seems to be that for one time, EMU did purchase them because they had a PCI board, and then Creative purchased EMU, and now it's totally gone. Pity. And for Ensoniq and also for EMU, they had definitely superb material. Okay. Yeah, I'm checking here the so what I'm planning to do anyhow is a video about all the, so now it's a spontaneous one about the ASR-10, and I was trying out to get the polyphonic aftertouch arranged. So if you go here to edit MIDI, you see a transmit on bass channel. That's where I do transmit. Most likely you cannot see it as I can see it, maybe a bit fuzzy because it's a webcam. And then the next one, bass channel pressure, is key, which is polyphonic aftertouch. And polyphonic aftertouch is if you press one key, then it generates the aftertouch, and the other keys, which if you don't press them, they don't respond. The normal aftertouch is mono or channel aftertouch, is that you hit one key harder, also the other voices starts to change. So I does Hiki, and if I should press now, it should appear, but it doesn't. Because I wanted to, Hatley did send me a preset. Okay, let's go now to, so I'll make again to Cubase and open Predator. Yeah, that's indeed a dirt lead. Okay. So I need to go down to the Rob folder, and he sent me a very nice Vangelis sound. Vangelis lead string aftertouch, and he did not get the aftertouch working, but now it works. Is my TS10 same keyboard as a 10? Yeah, definitely. So you should have also polyphonic aftertouch. The TS10 also can load, by the way, the sounds you are hearing. So the TS10 is basically an ASR-10 with a range of ROM samples on board. So yeah, you should be able to also load these sounds you heard today in your TS-10. You need to expand it with the some memory cards, and then it should work. And it has polyphonic aftertouch, but for some reason I don't get it activated here on an ASR-10. Maybe I do something wrong. Maybe something is broken, so I need to fix that. So here's the preset from Hadley. So I'm going to shut down my ASR-10 now from. So this sounds more like a violin type sound, which Vangelis I think also used. Here uses amount control envelope 1, I can see. And Hadley, if you are in there, you could also do it by using this one here to increase the. So here the attack decay also is for fading in this amount. Of course, you also could do it with envelope 1. Okay, so what I would do in this preset, change a little bit the reverb. Okay. It's a bit too much. Yeah, and if you have this one, so the attack and decay makes that the vibrato comes in a bit slower, but you still can add then modulation wheel Aftertouch, which is then this modulation wheel here. Let me see if a guideways, if you can see it, because I'm covering the ASR-10 does cover a bit too much. I make the ASR-10 a bit smaller. Okay. Yeep. Here it goes. And you can see again Predator 2. Oops. So it sounds really like you had in the early days of the synthesizer, you had some preset synthesizers like the SH-1000 or the Core. They re-released it, and they had these kind of presets, which you also hear on the albums of the early albums of Vangelis or Kitaro. So you see the modulation wheel works, but I don't get the. And he wanted to use the channel Aftertouch to change the frequency of filter 1. So I added that. So it's a nice sound. So the only difference, I adjusted a little bit because personally the reverb was a bit too loud. So and also maybe a bit damping. Yeah, that's the track from Vangelis, if I'm not wrong, what I'm playing now. Yeah, so I saved this one for you, Hadley, and I will email you that again. Save preset. Okay, and now we are here with, anyhow, with Predator 2. We're working on Predator 3 very hard. And Predator is going to be wider. We're going to have the arpeggiator section is going to be a lot different. It's going to have ratcheting. And most likely it's going to have, so because here you have ARP A and ARP B. Most likely we do the same as we do with Sublime Bass, that you can have 4 ops. Opera Savage, yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Silk Road also could be, I don't know. Yeah, there's some Vangelis fan in the chat room, and of course I'm a big Vangelis fan myself. I think in BIT also created these sounds from Spiral. It's the typical CS80 sounds. Let's play them again. So here we have Synth. Okay, I need to play that one, you know. I need to study it. It's the same sound. Okay, sorry for the wrong notes, just playing it from my head. But that's, yeah, and this is pretty much recreated, but most of the time I really are more inspired by, so I have this sound in my head and create it essentially in the, yeah, as a preset. So this is more inspired on the CS80. Okay, so what a messy day today. So I planned a lot of other stuff, but yeah, you see. Okay, I'm checking the chat room. So next week, then I have time to prepare this sound preset that David sent to me, which is Ka-Fa in the chat room. And we dive into the MS-20. And of course, the MS-20 is here in my studio. If you turn the dials, yeah, there's a very typical nasty sound. Yeah, that's indeed. It's 1977 that Spiral was released. It's an amazing album. One of my favorites is Antarctica of Vangelis. And of course, in the recent work, he did a lot of more classic instruments. But yeah, it was also cool in yeah, how he worked with synthesizers. And it always sounded very bombastic, very orchestral, but it still was done by synthesizers. So yeah, it's one of, I think it's it's an amazing composer. Any update news on Blue 3? Yeah, next year. Really will not happen this year, because in Blue 3, each time when you do something new, it's of course more work. Yeah, picture if we create a synthesizer, then you create a synthesizer with this feature and then with that feature. And each time it's a bigger challenge, because you don't want to make it overcomplicated. So it always takes a little bit of time. So first we will release a cool new affix in April. In May, maybe something else, but we are focusing very hard on Predator 3. So Predator 3 will be a very cool thing. The user interface will change, or a bit more comfortable. We add some cool things inside of it. Very busy on that subject. Okay, guys. So I could not do much of sound design, and because I wanted to, address this polyphonic aftertouch. So most keyboard synthesizers, they have channel aftertouch. So if you play a chord and you hit one note a bit harder, all the voices will have this aftertouch change. And polyphonic aftertouch, as the word does say, each keyboard has its own aftertouch. And and there are not that many keyboards. The ASR-10 is one, and then you have this synthesizer, Hydra Synth, which is released. Then some of the older synthesizers like the Gem S2 or S3 as it was called, or the Prophet T8, I believe had it also, this channel aftertouch. And of course, this CS80, which was for that time really a revolution to have that. And I need to fix this here in the ASR-10. Maybe I'm doing something wrong somewhere. Could be. Or maybe it has a little defect which needs to be fixed. Anyhow, it's very cool to have it back in my studio, and with this external, they call it SCSI 2 SD. It's a little thing. Oh, let me show you. I have also one for the emulator 4. 1 second. Hey, can you believe this? This wanted to show you as well. I think you can see it now. This is the hard disk for the ASR-10 SCSI, they call it, and it was very expensive. Of course, I talk about 29 years ago, and it had I think 350 megabyte. And now these days you get on a little on your thumb you have 10 times the capacity. Then you have on your little thumb you can have 32 gigabyte. It's ridiculous. So this is this machine. I picked the purple color for the emulator 4. There I still need to install it. And of course, what I did is attach the little chips. So you have this little SD card. I think this one is 32 gigabyte. And then you have 4 sections for hard disk. So that's very cool. They created a chicken system. I will link it in the info section. And what it makes is that if you have many people, still producers, have maybe the same problem as me, that they become lazy and it takes too much time to boot up a sampler with the old SCSI hard disk. And now you simply put on the machine and it boots up fast, and you can use them again because they have sounds which are absolutely fantastic. If you have the ASR-10 or the emulator sampler, also the Roland samplers had some cool sounds. Of course, the Akai samplers, and that makes that they are contemporary again, because that's what I mentioned. Some of the sounds which are inside here, like this Alaska sound, which I use on my music track. I don't get it out of anything else. It's the sound is created inside here. Let's play it again. Okay, now I combine two things together because I need to have an empty track. So, the only way I could maybe recreate this one is to sample the sample and put it maybe in the future in Blue 3. That will be maybe an idea. But so the chicken system translator, that's really great. I will put the link inside of it, so maybe you have a sampler in your rack, an ASR-10, an Akai or a Roland, whatever. It really makes this machine really up to date, because the sounds they produce, you heard it today, are very often very cool, very good. Okay, so guys, we are very much at the end, so a bit different than planned, but I hope you enjoyed it. We go out with, yeah, you can guess it, a very sweet song by Tom Alrich. I also shared it today on Facebook, and Tom mailed me that it's 99% the Explorer bundle, but I also heard a steel string guitar. So Tom, if you are inside of it, yeah, he's in the chat room. Is there a steel guitar, Tom? Let us know. But anyhow, we should play it because it's a very, very nice song. And the lead sound, yeah, it's so sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna shut down and let's play it. Okay, guys, hope to see you next week and stay safe. And next week we catch up. Thanks for watching.